How was it the first, you guys came face to face for the first time just a couple of days ago. What was that face to face like?
I just laughed. Like, I did the face off and then I like walked away and I just laughed to myself.
Jake Paul just came face to face with Mike Tyson, and it looks like things are only getting more intense from here.
This is insane. On my screen, my eyeballs are the one facing off against Mike Tyson, and I just couldn't believe it. And the fact that it's on Netflix, I think that's gonna like really revolutionize the game in boxing. I think streaming could potentially be like a very bright future for the sport.
The contentious matchup has ignited a divide among fans and figures in the combat sports world, with many expressing strong disapproval of Tyson and Paul's decision to face off. Dana White, the outspoken UFC president, is among the most vocal critics. Despite having a positive relationship with Tyson, White didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts recently on the Pound for Pound podcast.
I hate talking about it because he always gets mad at me when I talk about this stuff, but, you know.
He don't give a too. He'll
not
snap
thrilled
on anybody.
to see him do this stuff, but, you know, when the fight happens, he'll be 58 years old.
Like many others who voiced concerns after the fight was announced, Dana White's main objection centers on the significant age difference between the two fighters. When the fight happens, Mike Tyson will be 58 years old, White said. That's a 31-year age gap. Jake Paul did fight someone his own age and he lost. White even accused Paul of lacking genuine passion for boxing, despite the 27-year-old consistently affirming his goal of becoming a world champion. White added, I saw something online yesterday saying if he beats Mike Tyson, he'll fight Clint Eastwood next. Clint Eastwood is 93 years old. When the conversation turned to Paul's reputation as a serious fighter, White quickly interrupted former UFC champion Kamaru Usman to make his point clear. He doesn't want to be a respected fighter. What Jake wants is to make money. People who follow Jake Paul don't buy Jake Paul's fights, so he has to fight people who can actually sell pay-per-views. Meanwhile, boxing legend Bernard Hopkins is also far from supportive of the upcoming bout. The seasoned world champion strongly believes Tyson's decision to step into the ring with Paul is a major mistake. Hopkins holds Tyson in the highest regard, which is why he opposes this matchup so vehemently. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, Hopkins said, I don't like it. I look at Mike differently like people looked at Ali, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Robinson. In my era, Hopkins feels Tyson's choice to fight at 57 years old tarnishes his legacy, lowering his stature in the boxing world by matching up with someone like Paul. I think it's becoming more of a sideshow, with some sweat and maybe some blood if we're lucky, he said. I won't watch it. I could watch two turtles race and be more excited. He explained his disapproval stems from the respect and admiration he has for Tyson. Given their shared time in the sport, it's because of how I look at Mike Tyson. I shared not only the ring with him a few times, but the ERA. I just think it degrades him. You're getting $100 million. $200 million, please. Despite the controversy, Paul and Tyson recently came face to face in a striking promotional video for their upcoming Showdown, sending shockwaves through the boxing community. However, the mood shifted during their promotional photo session, when Paul openly admitted to feeling tense facing his legendary opponent.
To like shaking his hand when we were at the shoot, this motherfucker is strong. Like probably the strongest handshake.
You think it was intentional or
I don't know. Because I don't think he was like trying to squeeze, but you could just feel his like hands are like brick.
During an episode of the BS with Jake Paul podcast, Brandon Amato commented on the shift in dynamics between Paul and Tyson during a recent shoot, noting that despite their previously friendly interactions, there was a clear absence of warmth this time around.
And you guys, that whole shoot, was that in the past, you and Mike have been so friendly?
Yeah.
You weren't friendly the whole time. We were there for 7 hours. There was no friendly laughing or giggling. He was like, it was like a different mode that he was in.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh,
I don't know.
scary.
It's weird. Like,
Scary.
when
Jake Paul acknowledged the shift in their relationship, explaining that signing the fight contract changed their dynamic by introducing a competitive edge to their interactions. Despite this, Paul emphasized his deep respect and admiration for Tyson, saying he felt honored to be facing him. However, he stressed that their upcoming bout meant they were now competitors, which naturally affected how they related to each other.
when you
Killer
sign
Mike
the contract, something changes, right? Like, even if we want to feel that, it's still like, yo, we are facing off. So like, obviously I love him, respect him so much. I'm honored to be going into the ring with him, but bro, we're fighting each other.
Mutual admiration has always characterized the relationship between Tyson and Paul, with their banter often hinting at an eagerly awaited clash driven by the huge commercial potential it carries. However, the seriousness of their upcoming summer showdown should not be underestimated. While fighters may follow professional combat protocols by exchanging glove touches, here's what Paul had to say about facing
Mike, I really want to see, bro. Let's see all the legends, the myths, because you're Iron Mike Tyson, but I have an iron chin. People know that. Like, I take shots, so I think people are underestimating me being able to deal with his power.
In recent years, Iron Mike has faced health challenges, raising concerns among some fans about his stamina for the upcoming fight. Nevertheless, glimpses of Tyson's training sessions for the highly anticipated bout show that his impressive strength and agility still pose a serious challenge for Paul. On the same podcast, Jake Paul got an exclusive look at Tyson's latest boxing workout footage.
Recent training, I think you should watch. I don't know if you've seen his recent training footage, but it's pretty absurd. I still think we're kind of grazing over his age. I think we should touch on that a little bit more. But this is him at 57.
Yeah, this is what I watched before I made the parlay that he was knocking you out.
So you have a parlay in...
Wait, no. What?
The audible... Let me see this.
After watching the footage for just a few seconds, Paul started to gather his thoughts. His girlfriend, Judah Leardom, who was also featured on the podcast, then asked him, "What if Tyson knocks you out?"
Ooh.
He sounds nervous.
Just look away.
No, like that will not be good, babe.
No, just look away.
Okay, but he also just trained Francis Ngannou, who just got his head smashed off. So I actually, now that I think about it, I'm about to see if I can get a cash out on this parlay.
Later in the episode, when the possibility of Jake Paul getting knocked out by Mike Tyson came up, Paul brushed off the concern, expressing confidence in his own skills. He credited his quickness and speed as crucial factors that would keep that from happening. Paul also pointed to his years of consistent activity and experience in the boxing ring, saying it has helped him overcome any pre-fight nerves.
Yeah, no, I'm too sharp and fast.
That's it. Nothing
That's
like
it.
personal, no spiritual.
Oh, I mean, I think just being active and like being the man in the arena for years and years now, like I don't even get nervous. Like the nerves are not even there anymore.
Yeah,
Like
but it hasn't been the man in the arena.
Paul explained that fighting in an arena feels more intimate and personal to him, which actually makes the experience less intimidating. He downplayed the significance of the stadium setting for their upcoming match, suggesting it won't add any extra pressure or challenge.
It's been the man in the arena, but not the man in the stadium. So
well,
that
I guess
is
it's the same. I think an arena, it can feel more intimate and personal. This is gonna be like, it's not even gonna feel as crazy, I don't think. Better Picks is the simplest.
Meanwhile, Tyson remains determined to prove his readiness for the upcoming fight against Paul, consistently sharing glimpses of his intense training regimen across various social media platforms. In a recent update, he showcased his power and dedication by giving fans a look at his demanding work.
Let's do something reasonable. To my position. Yes.
Tyson, though mostly silent in his recent training videos, let his captions speak volumes. In one post he wrote, "Round after round. High-intensity exercises like this are a solid form of cardio. Cardio doesn't have to mean running or using all the gym equipment. It depends on your goals and your body." Through these updates, Tyson continues to present himself as focused and physically prepared for his showdown with Jake Paul. However, not everyone is convinced. Boxing pundit and former champion Paulie Malignaggi has expressed skepticism about the authenticity of Tyson's training footage. "I have to say, I'm not sure where Tyson's motivation is right now," Malignaggi said. "I don't know how recent those videos are. I've spoken to people who've been around Tyson recently, and he didn't look all that active." Malignaggi doubled down on his doubts, suggesting that the footage might be more about generating headlines than reflecting Tyson's current condition. "Honestly, I don't know if that video of him hitting the pads is recent. I know people who saw him just a couple months ago. He was laid back, not talking about anything physical." Meanwhile, Jake Paul didn't hold back when responding to Conor McGregor, who had questioned the public's interest in the Tyson-Paul fight. McGregor had commented, "Oh geez, it's a bit strange. The interest is low. I don't know. One wish." Mike Tyson, well, he implied that the hype surrounding the fight wasn't quite living up to expectations. Paul strongly disagreed. calling out McGregor on his BS with Jake Paul podcast. Conor, you're saying the interest is low, but when you announced your last fight, it sparked a storm, thousands of articles, non-stop conversation for days. This fight did the same, if not more. He went on to highlight the massive digital engagement the announcement generated. In just a few days, there were over 10,000 articles written about this fight. In terms of face-off views and Instagram Reels, we're talking 50 to 60 million views just on our own posts, let alone all the major sports pages. Paul also suggested that the criticism from veterans like McGregor might be fueled by envy. This, in my mind, is the biggest fight the world will ever see. There's no reason to be jealous. But when the old heads like Conor start hating, it's like why tear people down. When asked how the Tyson fight stacks up against does me does such a mega bout with Floyd Mayweather, which pulled in 4.3 million pay-per-view buys in North America, Paul confidently predicted even greater viewership. It'll be more watched, 1000%. Sure, it's free, so we can't compare pay-per-view numbers directly. But the appeal of this fight was built for streaming platforms. Whether praised or criticized, the upcoming clash between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson reflects the changing face of combat sportswear entertainment value. Celebrity status and digital reach are becoming just as important as titles and records. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future updates.